Ever wonder why texting your ex after a breakup only makes things worse? Here's the truth that nobody will tell you.
We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
Damn right. Damn right. It's hump day again, guys. How the heck are you? This should be a fun one today. It is once again Breakup Wednesday, where I talk about topics impacting men who recently went through divorce, separation, or a breakup. If you are new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer. I am a full-time content creator and men's coach, and I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is that it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. Did you know most men feel the urge to reach out after a breakup? They want answers, closure, or even a second chance. But every time you text, every text you send pushes you deeper into self-doubt and keeps you trapped in the past. It's not just about her not answering. It's about what it does to your confidence, your healing, and your future. By the end of this episode, you'll know why texting first is always the wrong move and how to take back control, so you can start to feel like yourself again. So stick around, because what you're going to learn today will transform not just your breakup recovery, but your entire life. But before we get into that, guys, do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on X, Facebook, and YouTube. And then you can listen to the replay on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'm on all the good platforms. And if you guys are watching a replay on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, or on Spotify, drop a comment below. If you guys are watching live right now, sound off in the live chat. I'd love to hear from you. And guys, do consider sending super chats. That helps support the show. I do this full time, so a part of your super chats actually helps me keeping content going out there. So if you're finding value in these episodes, don't be stingy. Send a ducat or two to your boy so I can keep busking out here and bringing you guys valuable information. Where are we at? There we go. That's the one I want. All right. Let's talk about why texting first feels right. Like, I think I should just say something, right? Like, you got to communicate more. It feels right, but it never really is, okay? So we get this urge oftentimes after we get dumped, we're broken up, and we have this urge to reach out. Well, where does that come from? Often it comes from a need for closure. Like, you don't feel like you tightly wrapped up this package that was this relationship that you've had for months or years. And you just need to really put a bow on it, right? I just gotta get some closure. And a lot of times what ends up happening is you go back to your ex, you sleep with her like one more time, and you're like, okay, I feel good about it. But you don't really feel good about it. It doesn't really give you closure. Closure is sort of like the tooth fairy, right? It doesn't exist. You never actually find that real closure, do you? Sometimes you want to reach out because you're looking for some kind of reassurance, right? Reassurance that you weren't the problem. It wasn't really me, was it? Like, I wasn't the problem, right? It's just like, we just sort of grew apart, right? But like, I'm still a good guy, right? Or you want reassurance that the breakup wasn't entirely your fault. Right? Like, you had a part to play in this, right? I just want to make sure that's clear, that we both know that we were both whatever. Like, it's silly. It's silly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why it ended. It ended. Okay. Like, You want reassurance that she still cares on some level. Like, does she still care about me? Like, or at least remembers the good times. Do you remember the good times, or do you just think of all of this as just one terrible experience of wasted years? That's how a lot of women look at being in a relationship, as wasted years, right? Because their eggs run out eventually. Guys don't really have that problem. Like, I've never really looked at being in a relationship like I wasted years, right? I mean, you could look at that with my marriage. I was married for 14 years, and it was all during my young years too, right? Like my 20s and early 30s. And I could have been out partying during those years, but I don't really look at it like they were wasted years. I don't know. What do you think? Let sound off in the chat. You want reassurance that the story isn't really over yet. That's really what, see this, fine, here's how you get her back. That's where a lot of guys find their way to the space, right? They're holding on to hope that it's not really over, and there's some trick or something I could say or some kind of tactic that I could use to get her back, right? So you reach out because you don't want it to really be over. And if there's still hope there, it sort of soothes the anxiety of that sudden loss, doesn't it? Right? You've got all this anxiety of like, what happened? What do I do with my life now? Right? Sometimes you want to reach out for validation, right? Validation that you're still desirable, that you're wanted or valuable, especially if the breakup really rocked your confidence. Right? You're reaching out to her to just see, like, I'm still hot though, right? Like, you still find me attractive though, right? You look for validation that your feelings and efforts in the relationship actually mattered to her, right? Because that's a blow to find out that she never liked anything that you did, or everything you did pissed her off. Like, that's a major blow, isn't it? You want validation that you're not so easy to forget, and that you left some kind of positive impact. Okay, all this stuff is ego. it's all ego protection. So there's some psychology to this, right? This breakup puts us in a cycle of anger, sadness, and confusion. Like, we're angry that we're being rejected. We're angry that we don't get a say in the matter. We're angry that we might have messed things up. We're angry with ourselves. We're angry at her for not being more understanding, whatever we're angry about. We're sad because you've spent so much time with this person that you loved. You thought she was the one, and she just drove that dagger into your heart. It's sad, man, right? And then you're confused. A lot of guys are confused. Like, why did it break up? Like, all of a sudden, it's just a major, almost like they get blindsided by it, right? A lot of guys get blindsided by these breakups. They're like, I never saw it coming. Well, if you were paying attention, you probably would have seen signs. It's just that women don't speak, overtly. They speak covertly. They're very subtle about everything. They hint at things. They just want you to get it. And most guys are clueless, right? Most guys are absolutely clueless that their girl's been checked out for months or sometimes even years, right? So you're confused. Why did all of a sudden she reject me? And why all of a sudden does she have a new guy? It's like, it's confusing. And after you get dumped, emotions, they're at an all-time high because you lost someone you loved, right? There's a lot of almost shame in the red pill space where they make you feel bad for feeling bad, right? Why are you feeling bad about this 304? Whatever. Like, dude, we're not robots, right? It sucks. It sucks to get dumped. No one likes it. So to me, it's like, yeah, of course your emotions are high, man. You love this person. You spent years with this person. You thought you dreamed of a future with this person, and now it's all gone. Right? And you thought that she loved you back. Heartbreak is real. Heartbreak is a real thing, and we all go through it. Right? Unless you're a sociopath. Right? So, getting back to texting. Let's talk about how texting first actually works against you. Okay? Because a lot of guys think if I just do something, if I just say something, I could fix this. Okay. But the problem is that kind of mindset keeps you emotionally stuck. It keeps you emotionally tethered to her, keeps you operating in her frame. You're never actually living your own life. Now you're stuck in a cycle where you're only existing to try to fix things and make her happy and get back into her life and be a side character in her life. I just recently did a whole episode about that. You're completely giving your power away. You're completely giving your power away when you do this sort of thing. And that reinforces her decision to end things, because the more you try, the more you reach out, the more you try to patch things up, the more weak she sees you, the more needy and weak she sees you, and the more it reinforces the idea of like, God, why was I even with this guy? You see how that might work against you? Men think that it'll change, though. They think that their relationship's different from everyone else's relationship. What you find studying this stuff is that almost all relationship dynamics are the same, right? There's just a little bit of nuance in the individual relationships out there, but by and large, if you zoom out, they're all pretty much the same. And you think that you reaching out you're going to be the first one that fixes things, right? It's a complete illusion. It's an illusion of control. It's this idea that if I just do something or say something, I'm going to somehow fix it. It's not going to, it doesn't work. Like 99.99% of the time, it's going to go the way that I'm talking about, which is she's going to see you even weaker and needier, and that's actually going to push her further away. Okay. So what's fascinating, one of the things that taught me about this sort of thing and texting in general, there was a story in one of my favorite books of all time. And I it's one of my holy trinity of dating books. And if you're relatively new to the show, you're not quite new to my podcast. I talk about these 3 books all the time. How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne. Shout out to Coach Corey Wayne. He changed my life. Atomic Attraction by Christopher Canwell. Same with him. And Dating Essentials for Men by Dr. Robert Glover. I read those 3 on repeat after my breakup with Red Pill Chick, and it completely changed the game for me. And there's a story in Atomic Attraction, and it's not a breakup story. It's a texting story. And this is really where I had the epiphany that I was a needy texter. Okay. So there's a story where this chick, she's at some kind of business conference or a convention, and she meets 2 different guys at this convention, and she gives both guys her number. They're both attractive guys. They're both very confident and, whatever. So she gave them both her number, because that's what women do. They keep their options open, right? So one of the guys, I think, reached out maybe the next day after he got her number and was like, "Hey, it was nice meeting you at the conference." The other guy texted her and then kept texting her, and he would text her a play-by-play of his day. And he did this all week, right? And she would reply to him like when she had time, but she wasn't as into texting this guy as he was into texting her. And he was just texting her constantly all week. Like, "Hey, I just ate a ham sandwich. Hey, I just got back from the gym. How was your day?" Right? That was me. As I was listening to that story, I realized that's the kind of guy I used to be. I was like, "Oh my God, I was doing that to Red Pill Chick." I would just text her all day, trying to keep some kind of interaction and conversation going all day. Drop a 1 in the chat if you do this currently, or if you've been the guy who did this. Okay, just let me know. Be honest with yourself. Were you that guy who, are you a guy who texts too much? Think about it and be honest with yourself. Be like, yeah, I probably text a little too much. I was that guy. I was just constantly texting Red Pill Chick. And in the beginning of the relationship, she would text me back all day, right? But near the end of the relationship, she wasn't texting me back so much. It was like hours and hours before she would text me back. And I'd be like, God, like, what is she ignoring me and stuff? Like, oh, she must be busy, I guess. But still, I want her to text me back. And so I'd text her again, right? And I would end up double or triple texting. That's what this guy did in the story. And as I'm listening to the story, I'm like, oh my God, he's describing me, right? The other guy that got her number, she didn't hear from him all week. So as you're following the story, she's like, yeah, Todd's texting me, but where's Jason at? Like, Jason, I haven't heard from that guy. Like, what happened to that guy? So who's she really thinking about? She's thinking about the guy who's not texting. Do you see the psychology here? It's been psychologically proven that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. Google it. Don't take my word for it. Okay. So that's what's happening in the scenario. She's thinking about the guy who's not texting because the guy who's texting all the time is a sure thing, right? Well, what ends up happening is that whole week goes by. Finally, the guy who's texting her all the time finally gets up the courage to ask her on a date for Friday night. And so she agrees. Yeah, sure, I'll go on a date with you. Well, Friday morning, the other guy finally texts back and he says, hey, I just got back out in town, or I just got back in town and want to know if you're free tonight. And she had been waiting for this guy to text all week. And she was like, oh my God, if I don't jump on this, I'm going to miss this opportunity. So she accepted that guy's offer and then flaked on the other guy. Do you see, has this happened to you where you had a date lined up with a chick and then she flakes on you? I know it's happened to everybody. Like, come on, like women are flaky as hell. But that's what happened. That kind of thing is what happens. A guy that she's been thinking about finally reaches out. And now she has an opportunity. She's going to take that opportunity because that guy's a scarce resource. Okay. So the second guy was being a mystery. She didn't know when she would have a chance again. First guy was too much of a sure thing. She knew, I could go out with this guy anytime. He's such a needy guy. He's like a little puppy dog. He's right there whenever I need him at my beck and call. I better cancel with him now because I could always reschedule. You don't want to be back burner guy. And when you're going back to breakups and texting, you doing this, she's going to put you on the back burner. You're now going to be one of her beta male orbiters. And she's going to go pursue these guys that she's actually interested in. When that doesn't work out, then maybe she'll think about you. That's how that works. Do you want to be someone's backup option? Think about that for a second. Right. So going back to the story in Atomic Attraction, that was a pickup story, right? These were new guys. So how does it apply to a breakup? She's still a woman. And if you're too available, she looks at you like a backup option. You have low value. Okay. You got to understand that scarcity creates value. It's the same in economics. There's a reason why gold is worth a lot of money. There's a reason why silver's worth a lot of money. There's a reason why diamonds are worth a lot of money, but it's because of artificial scarcity. But you can use that to your advantage and create some artificial scarcity in your own relationships to make yourself more valuable. And it's all about perception, right? It's all about perception. So the guy who didn't text her all week had more perceived value because he was a scarce resource. All right. So you got to understand that every text is a step backward for your self-worth and progress. You got to think of it like an AA program. Okay. I've never been. Okay. And maybe you haven't been to AA either, but we've all seen it on TV. We have the idea of what happens at an AA program. If you guys ever seen the movie Fight Club, right? The main character spends the whole first part of the movie just going to different, recovery groups because he wants connection with people, right? Every needy text is like a shot of heroin, right? You're doing it and then you're hoping for her to reply back. And when she does reply back, you get that dopamine rush. Oh my God, it's the love of my life. She's replying to me. Finally, right? And when you send that text, you have this anxiety and your heart's pumping. Like, when is she going to reach back? Is she going to reach back? Oh my God. And you keep checking your phone. Did she reply back yet? You're like a fucking drug addict, right? You're addicted and you need to break that addiction. And you can only do that sort of thing one day at a time, brother. One day at a time. While you're chewing on that, oh, I don't want that. I want this. Guys, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. I've had this up for the whole time. Grab my free ebook. If you're the kind of guy who's recently gone through divorce, separation, or breakup, and you know you need to move on, but you can't stop thinking about your ex, and you want to send her one more text, grab this first, okay? It's the top link in the description. I also pinned it in the chat. If you haven't read it already, grab it. It's free. Just you enter $0 at the checkout and just hit I want this, and you get it for free, okay? But this will tell you how to get her back. There's a proven strategy of getting an ex back. If you go to a breakup coach or whatever, and you're trying to get your ex back, they're going to run this playbook, okay? I'm giving it away for free. These guys hate me for this, but fuck them. I think that's a terrible idea to get your ex back, okay? That's for another episode. But this will show you how to do it, but it'll also explain why it's a bad idea, okay? So grab that, because that's sort of what we're talking about today. And then when you're ready to finally move on for good, grab my book, Forget That Bitch. It's available on Amazon and Audible. If you go to books.comeonmanpod.com, that will redirect you to my Amazon authors page, where you can get that book. And you can get it if you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you can get it for free. If you're an Audible subscriber, you can listen to it for free with your next free credit. Okay, so grab that. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the topic.
You got dumped, divorced, or ghosted? Good. Because that pain you're feeling right now, if you use it right, it can make you unstoppable. But first, you need to forget her for good. Most men, they waste months, even years chasing closure that never comes. They keep scrolling her feed, stalking her socials, replaying every word she said. That's not just self-torture. It's weak. And you're not weak. Not anymore. Forget what your buddies or your mom tell you. Screw being vulnerable. This isn't about making her see your worth. It's about never letting a breakup wreck you again. That's exactly why I wrote Forget That Bitch. This book isn't your average breakup advice. No sugarcoating, no false hope, just raw, honest truth. She's not coming back. You can't fix what's broken, and you're wasting your life every second you spend obsessing. So what do? You get pissed, then you get focused. You rebuild your confidence. You hit the gym, chase your purpose, build your empire. This is your wake-up call. Use the pain as fuel. Cut the cord cold. Because the minute you stop caring about her, your real comeback starts. Inside Forget That Bitch, you'll learn why obsessing over your ex is killing your masculinity. Why you need to quit being a nice guy and start being the man you were born to be. Real steps, real talk, no bullshit. Ready to stop living in her shadow? Grab Forget That Bitch on Amazon or listen to it on Audible today. Don't just get over her. Get over the man you used to be and never let this happen again.
Never again. Never again. And let's see here. We've got some people. We got a lot of people watching, but only a couple of people talking in the chat. Don't be scared, okay? I don't bite. Brother Ray from Wolfpack's in the house says, good morning, everyone. Audio sounds good. Oh, good. I didn't do a mic check this time. And Ken's watching from Facebook. He says, it's usually gone because the guy cannot relate. Last thing a woman wants is a fixer. All right. Let's talk about why men stay obsessed and why the game is rigged. It's rigged, I tell you. All right. Well, so we get rejected, right? We get that pain of rejection, and that tends to breed obsession. Rejection breeds obsession, and it keeps you stuck on your ex. You keep thinking about her. You can't get her out of your head, and it turns into mental loops, right? When we get when we don't get closure or reassurance, your mind runs wild, replaying conversations and moments and reading. You go back and read text messages, and you go and check her social media, and you're looking for signs that maybe she still cares about you, or you could somehow change the outcome, right? And you just start grinding away. Your mind starts grinding away of, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? And men, we're fixers, right? We're fixers. So we're trying to figure out how to fix this problem. And that leads to a complete loss of focus, with your work, with your everyday life. You can't concentrate on the things you need to concentrate on because all you're doing is thinking about your ex, and your thoughts just keep going back to her, robbing you of your energy and your motivation for work. It robs you of your motivation for gym. It robs you of motivation for anything in your life. And that keeps your self-improvement on pause, right? What's funny is, I think before nasty breakups, a lot of guys aren't focused on self-improvement. They might be focused on career improvement or career advancement, but self-improvement, a lot of guys aren't focused on that stuff. And it's funny how a nasty breakup will cause a guy to really focus on self-improvement, right? Like what could I have done better to prevent that from happening again, right? And like I said before, it's when we were talking why you're constantly thinking about reaching out because you're trying to fix things. It's an ego addiction, right? Getting a reply becomes a hit, right? You get that dopamine spike. It soothes the pain temporarily, but then you want more. You want a little bit more, so you reach out. You reach out a little bit more. The cycle repeats itself. Right? Some guys go through a complete identity crisis in this situation. They start defining themselves about how she responds to them. Have you ever been through any of that? Be honest with yourself. You don't have to sound off in the chat, okay? Like, I know some people don't want to share this information with the public. It's cool. I get it. But be honest with yourself with this sort of thing, right? Instead of rebuilding who you are without her, all you could do is define yourself by how she's responding to you right now. And that all leads to obsessive behavior. Things like checking if she's online, analyzing her posts, driving by her house. I heard that one the other day, right? I was, I was in a group, let's say. I was in a chat group, and some guy was talking, he was talking about how he drove by his ex's house, just, because he had to see things. I don't know what he was doing, but how many of you have done that? You've driven by an old ex's house just to see what's going on. That's obsessive behavior that this sort of pattern leads to, right? You reread old messages. You're constantly going back through emails and texts and DM conversations and stuff like that. All of that feeds the obsession and makes it impossible to actually move on and heal. You've got to cut that shit off if you want to actually move forward in your life, right? And the funny thing is that our friends and family don't actually help us. They often tell us to reach out, right? Which never works. I just saw this the other day. This is like programmed into society. Okay. Anytime you see this sort of stuff on a TV show, it's how society is programming us. Right. But my son and I were watching Dexter. Okay. I've never seen Dexter. I never really got into that show when it was on, but, my son decided, hey, Dad, you want to watch Dexter? I hear good things. I keep seeing TikToks about it. I'm like, yeah, why not? I've never seen this. So we're watching Dexter. We're in season 2 now. And there's a scene where Dexter's sort of in this love triangle in season 2. I'm trying not to give any spoilers away if you guys haven't seen it. But Dexter's in a love triangle where he's got this girlfriend who is a single mom. And then he's got this crazy bitch girlfriend who's supposed to be his sort of AA sponsor. And now he's in AA, not because he's addicted to alcohol or drugs, but he's in it because he's a serial killer and that's his drug, right? And so he decides he's going to go to AA because he ends up telling his single mother girlfriend that he's an addict to try to cover up for the fact that he's a serial killer. And so he goes to this group, and this crazy bitch is in the group, and she becomes his sponsor, and she starts flirty with him and stuff like that. Well, anyway, she ends up getting mad at Dexter and breaks up with him. The single mom does. And so that night, Dexter goes to his sponsor's house and bangs the shit out of his sponsor. And then he comes back to his now ex-girlfriend's house, and she finds out about it, and she's, dumps him for good. And so what does Dexter's sister tell Dexter to do? You got to fight for her. No, you girls say things they don't mean all the time. You need to go and chase her and talk to her. That's what friends and family will tell you to do, right? Just go talk to her. Say something. Just reach out. And it doesn't work because of all the things I talked about in the beginning. It makes you come across even weaker and needier, which further drives that nail into the coffin, right? What is Zombie saying here? Zombie says, trouble is women have unlimited supply of men, dating apps, Instagram, etc. I chatted to a Brazilian chick one time who posted a gym selfie on Instagram, and later she had Neymar Jr. DM her. I don't know who Neymar Jr. is, but I'm assuming he's a rich guy. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Zombie. Women do have unlimited options, and most men don't. So it's way easier for women to move on. Hey, nurse chick finally showed up. She says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Happy hump day." She must be busy this morning.
So naughty.
I'm gonna come.
Yes. Nurse chick always gets that. All right. I got a story for you guys. Imagine this. There's a man, Chris, staring at his phone late at night. The room is quiet. So quiet, you can almost hear his heart thumping. Can you see it? The blue glow, the unsent message, the way his thumb hovers over the send button, not quite ready to cross that invisible line. Maybe you felt that urge too. Maybe deep inside. Deep inside, there's a question clawing at you. Will a single message fix the ache? Will a little reply finally make the pain go away? Chris thought so at first. For weeks, he lived in a trance. Every morning, he'd reach for his phone, hoping for a sign. Every night, he would lie awake, mind racing with memories, doubts, old conversations. What did he do wrong? Could he fix it? Was she missing him too? You know that loop, the endless what if. Chris was trapped, not by her, but by hope. He believed just one message would soothe the sting of rejection, patch up his confidence, and put the pieces back together. But something strange happened when he did nothing. Days turned into weeks, and instead of sending that text, Chris let his phone rest. He let the silence grow. Uncomfortable at first, then almost peaceful. He noticed the world around him again, the early sunlight through the window, the sound of his breath, the hunger to feel alive. Chris laced up his running shoes, barely recognizing the man in the mirror. He ran a block, then two. The first time it hurt, but he kept going. Can you feel the change? Each day, Chris poured his energy into something real. Instead of waiting for a message that might never come, he started building a life that didn't need it. He went to the gym. He ate better. He finally put in the extra hours at work and went for that promotion just to see if he could do it. With every new challenge, the craving to text faded, replaced by pride. Real, deep down pride that can't be shaken by someone else's silence. Weeks passed. Chris joined a photography club. He found himself laughing, meeting new people, trading stories and ideas that had nothing to do with his past. And then, one day, a message did appear on his phone from her. His heart raced. He read it and smiled. He didn't feel the need to reply right away. He didn't feel the urge to chase or impress because in that moment, Chris knew his breakthrough never came from a text or from someone else's validation. It came from the moment he chose himself. Imagine if, just like Chris, you stopped waiting for someone else to unlock your future. What if you poured all that energy, all that longing into the life you could be living right now? The message you need isn't from your ex. It's the one you send to yourself. The decision to move forward, to grow, to create something that no one can take from you. As you listen, you might notice a feeling building inside, the realization that real healing never comes from someone else's words. It comes from action, from choosing yourself again and again until you don't need anyone's reply to know you're enough. And now, as you breathe in, notice what you want your next step to be. Will you keep waiting for the past to change? Or will you step into the life you deserve? The only way to win is to step away and let her memories fade, brother. So you can truly start again. While you're thinking about that, I got a question for you guys. Who wants to run with the wolves, baby?
Bear Club? Not anymore.
Home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not heaven. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. True fire presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
All right. And then, guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can book a call by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. Also, another thing that I'm going to start offering to you guys, because I am a full-time content creator now, is you can now sponsor a video. So let's say you've been thinking about coaching, you've been thinking about Wolfpack, but you're just not sure. So you kind of want to taste, what would Paul say about my specific situation? Well, if you go to video.comeonmanpod.com, I can make you a custom video for your specific situation. And then you can write out your story and tell me what your problem is and ask all your questions. And I'm going to make a dedicated video for you to break down what your next step should be. Then you can get a little taste of what I might tell you. Okay. So go to video.comeonmanpod.com. And right now I'm going to be doing those on Tuesdays. But if this gets really popular, I'll also do those on Wednesdays. I'm going to do them in the afternoon. So 5 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. When these come in, you'll start seeing those live. So if you want a live video explaining your situation, they're going to be anonymous. I'm going to keep people's names anonymous and stuff like that. You can sponsor video by going to video.comeonmanpod.com if you have a question that you want me to answer. All right. And then, when you see what kind of fucking rad ass advice I'm going to give you, that's super effective, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to book a coaching call. That's how that's going to work. That's exactly how that's going to work. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at? All right. So now we're going to give some actionable advice, right? Like, what do we do? Okay. So we're obsessing over our ex. We got to break this loop, but I don't know how to break this loop. Okay. So let's talk about that. The real way to move on and rebuild. So we talked about this a little bit last week, right? We talked about the no contact rule. And it works. The no contact rule works to get your ex back. And if you go to any breakup coach, the first thing that they're going to have you do is have you go no contact. Okay. But what I tell you to do, and forget that bitch, is to go no contact, but don't do it as a trick to get her back. Okay. Do it as a reset for your own life and your mind and start working on your goals. Okay. She might reach out. She might not. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? We're going no contact though, so that we can focus on us. Okay. That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend. It does work though. It does tend to work. The reason why it works is because once you give her enough space and you stop texting her all the time, you stop reaching out, and she has no choice but to start thinking about you on her own in the absence of you. What tends to happen is she starts only remembering the good times. Right? It's the same thing as military veterans. Like, we all get out. And in the military, it sucks. Like, your day-to-day sucks in the military. It's so boring. Like, you're doing a shitload of cleaning, or you're painting, or you're doing all this kind of stuff, right? If you're in the Marines, maybe you're burning human waste and stuff like that. You just got like shit jobs that have to get done, and you're doing those constantly, and it sucks. But when you get out, all you ever remember is the good times you had with the boys and the port visits and like the cool exercises you did and like all that. You only remember the good times. The same thing happens with your ex when you back away and go no contact. Okay. But I recommend don't use it as a trick to get her back, to get a reaction out of her. Use it to move on. Right. You can, so as you're going through this breakup process, you're going to experience a whole bunch of different emotions. You got anger and sadness, confusion. We talked about that a little bit, but you can channel all of that energy into real growth by taking action, right? Finding new hobbies, getting to the gym, going and doing things that you enjoy doing. You can channel all of that into stuff that will actually move your life forward and give your life more meaning. Honestly, my podcast started as a way for me as an outlet for me to start moving on and doing other things after Red Pill Chick. I didn't start the podcast until she and I had been broken up for well over a year. And I was in a men's group, the 3% man group on Facebook, which is gone now. But that's the reason why the podcast started. I needed something to occupy my time. And I was like, oh, what if I interview the other guys in the group and get their story and about why they ended up here? And almost all of them ended up there because of a breakup. It's kind of funny. But you can channel that energy into more productive things, right? And then, and that leads you to more practical self-improvement type stuff. And I mentioned fitness, but you can also pour it into your career, right? Pour it into your work. Like, try to get to that next level, try to get that next promotion, try to get that raise. You can build new social connections and start new hobbies. One of the things I did was I joined a runners group. I was in a run club around here for a couple of years. I finally ended that group because it wasn't right for me anymore. There was literally only like 3 people I liked in that group, and the rest were a bunch of like old women bats that were like 50 plus. And it was like going to a fucking knitting meeting half the time. And I was like, why am I here? And then the one cool dude that was there, he ended up simping really hard for his wife and leaving the group because she was getting jealous. Right. And so after he left, I was like, why am I even fucking going anymore? I don't want to hang around with these old bat women. Sorry, old ladies. Not sorry. Okay. So what's the reality? The reality is you don't win her back by waiting around, right? Just hoping that she's going to get tired of all these other guys she's banging and come back to you, right? You win your life back by investing in yourself. It's not about getting her back. It's about getting you back. You feel me, dog? Starting fresh and meeting new people, building new habits. It's really the only true way to heal. Taking some time apart. A lot of guys in the space will tell you like, okay, after a breakup, go sleep with 10 other chicks. That's the best way to get over her. It's a pretty toxic way of dealing with things, and you're not really getting over her. You're going to compare all those chicks to your ex until you actually get over your ex. Okay. Just banging a bunch of random strange doesn't help you with that. I recommend taking a couple of months to yourself to really process things, get used to being alone again, and then go bang 10 chicks. Okay. That's what I'd recommend. Not like, I'm not saying don't go bang 10 chicks. Like by all means, bang 10 chicks. I'm just saying don't do it right away, because that's not going to heal it. Okay. You've got to give yourself time to get used to being alone and enjoy the solitude. And once you enjoy being alone and doing things alone and going to the store alone and like the movies alone and out to dinner alone and all that kind of stuff, and just enjoy being by yourself, that's really when you're going to be ready to go bang 10 chicks. Okay. And the cool thing about this, when you do that, you move on, you actually take some time to heal, you have this clean slate advantage. You actually attract better women and people in general once you've worked on yourself. You start understanding a little bit of game, you work on your frame, you work on your muscles, you work on your money, right? The core four, shout out to MLD. All that kind of stuff makes you more of a naturally attractive person in general, and you actually will attract better people, especially if you're using your contenders list that I talk about all the time. Okay. But you'll attract better people when you're not burdened with your past image of who you were. And the thing is that with your ex, you're always going to be locked into a version of you that was the way you were when you were with her. And most guys, even if they do get their ex back, they fall back into that old programming that made her unattracted or made her lose attraction to you in the first place. You'll fall back on that old programming. So it'll just repeat itself. The cycle just repeats itself. Guys, this is where I tell you that if you tune into the podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's phenomenal. I appreciate that. I will always give you solid advice that you can use and take and be actionable. And you can go back through the archives and learn everything that I know, right? Which takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that. But you'll actually be doing some work to to get that information in there. But if you want to go deeper and really change things and find a proven roadmap, there's more available. Okay, I have coaching, and my books actually give you a very solid structure. Okay, so if you haven't gotten the books yet, definitely get them. If you can't, I'm terrible at sitting down and reading an actual physical book like this. It takes me months to sit down, find time, and read a book like that. That's why I recommend Audible, right? Because you can do this in your morning commute. You can do this at the gym. Grab the books on however you prefer to read books, but if at least grab the Audible versions of my books, okay? Because those will really go into detail on your specific situation. And then when you really want to get things done fast, get into coaching, okay? Because I can actually work with you one-on-one, your specific situation. Sometimes the broad advice doesn't fit individual specific situations, so you need more tailored advice. That's what coaching's good for. It's also good for accountability, right? Because it's if you get the book and you also get the workbook that goes with the book, there's like weekly challenges and stuff that I have you do. You're the only one that can make yourself do that challenge. If you're a go-getter, that's all you need. That's all you need is the book and the workbook, and you can really work through this process. But if you are the kind of guy that won't do the challenge unless someone's asked you, hey, did you do the challenge? Right? Hey, did you do the challenge? What happened with it? And actually hold you accountable. You need coaching. Okay. You need coaching. And then at the very bare minimum, you can get into Wolfpack. It's only $10 a month, right? But that's a great place where you can get in there, chop it up with other guys. There's a whole bunch of guys in the group that know their shit, and they jump in there and give you really actionable information. It's just a good or a good resource for guys going through this sort of thing. That's all we got for this episode, though, guys. If you guys haven't yet, smash that like button, would you? Because smashing like is alpha. With your t-shirt should say nicest bad boy. Fuck you, Kamal. Fuck you. I'm not a nice guy, bro. No. All right, guys. Tune into the podcast on Friday for Frame Friday. Brother John from Wolfpack, one of the Brother Johns. We have a bunch of them in there, but one of the brothers, John, the truck driver, John from Wolfpack, sent me a video where a guy was talking about ants and spiders and drawing circles around them. Right. And it was really cool because what you find in this video is if you take an ant and you put it on a piece of paper and you take a pencil and draw a circle around it, the ant won't go past the circle. It thinks it's trapped. It thinks he's trapped by this pencil line and he won't move. Same with the spider, right? And the thing is they can walk over it. There's nothing really stopping them there. It's just a mental trap that they've put for themselves. And what they found was with the spider, what they would do is they would circle in on the spider, right? Make the circle smaller and smaller until eventually the spider has no choice but to have his leg pop out. Once the spider found out that its leg went over that line, it wasn't trapped anymore and it just walked out, right? And once it realized I'm not really trapped, this is all an illusion, it was free. How many of you guys have this mental trap around you that's keeping you stuck wherever you're at? Maybe you don't go for more money. Maybe you don't go for the hotter women, like whatever, like you're in this mental trap. So we're going to be talking about self-limiting beliefs on Friday. It should be a fun episode because there's a lot of us that we have self-limiting beliefs that hold us back in our careers with women and various areas of our lives, right? So we're going to talk about that on Frame Friday. No super chats today. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You know, your boy does this for a living. So, but whatever. Guys, if you haven't done so, like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're soon going to be having episodes on Tuesday evening for if you guys sponsor videos and write in your email with your questions. I'm going to do videos dedicated to people that sponsor those. We'll get to that here in a second. Guys, thanks for everyone that sounded off in the live chat. If you guys are watching the replay, drop a comment below, okay? I want to hear from you guys. Plus, it helps boost us in the algorithm, gets us in front of other men. Guys, next time, be sure to send a super chat because if you're getting actual information from these episodes and getting value from it, I would appreciate if you would support the show. And I do this full-time for a living. So your super chats actually help me pay my grocery bills and stuff like that. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Grab the free ebook. Fine. Here's how to get her back. The link's in the first link in the description there. And then when you're ready, grab Forget That Bitch, either on Amazon or Audible. You can go to books.comeonmanpod.com to find that. Let's see here. Get in Wolfpack and sponsor a video. Go to video.comeonmanpod.com to sponsor a video and ask your questions. And I'll make a dedicated video directly for you. And then if you guys, when you're finally ready to book a call and start working on this and get really serious about your problem, book a call by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. That's all I got. We will see you guys on Friday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.